Happy Monday. I can't believe it's another week. So I'll be here every day, Monday through Thursday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. And I've got some new fun stuff to show you guys this week. And I also just wanted to say, I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And if you were celebrating Easter, I hope it was amazing. There was a lot of Zooming yesterday, I'm sure, with lots of families. I know I had one with my family, so that was really fun. And I just hope we keep on doing that, to be honest. I mean, we, pick up the phone, we text a lot, but Zooming is so great to be able to check in with your family and see how everybody's doing. And my mom's by herself out in Buffalo, so it was great for her to see all her kids. We were missing 1 out of 5 kids, but there was lots of grandkids on the line too, so that was really great. So I'm also hoping that you guys got a chance to see an amazing thing yesterday. It was Andrea Bocelli's performance and he was in Milan. He was at the Duomo Cathedral. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you guys see it. It's on his YouTube station. So you just type in his name into YouTube and then you'll just click right on his video. I wish it was longer. It was about 30 minutes and I had the timers all set. I was so excited to watch it. And right at the same time, all my kids were like, Mom, make me tea, make me tea. So I'm like rushing to make them tea, give them tea. I came in the art studio and my husband decided to blow the leaves right outside. I'm like, no, everybody, nobody do anything. And so, but of course you could replay it a million times, but still I wanted to be there right there when he was live, and it was so incredible. I don't know about you guys if you watched it. I was a mess. I was bawling my eyes out on so heads up if you haven't seen it and you want to go see it, get some tissues. On his last song, Amazing Grace, I lost it, and in a good way. I mean, it was a beautiful performance. It was full of hope and love. And they were showing scenes from around the world of different cities that were in live views that were so quiet. And in Milan, you could hear the bird song, and in London and New York and Paris, there weren't any cars, maybe 1 or 2 with one person walking. And it was like, whoa, that was just eerie and beautiful at the same time. So the reason I'm telling you all this is because, 1, I want you to see it, but 2, I was so inspired. I spent the rest of the day painting in my studio. I got a pass from making dinner. I didn't have to do dinner. My one son came in, Lukey, and painted with me. I was so excited. But the whole entire day, I just felt so creative and inspired and full of hope. And so I painted all day long. And I also had an idea for an art journal page. So I have everything prepped and ready. And so I thought I would show you what my pages have been, how they've been, blah, blah, blah. How my pages have been working. And I also want to work on a new spread with you guys today and tomorrow. I cut up a bunch of stuff. I want to show you how I got inspired to do that. And then tomorrow do some lettering on it. So I know that you guys have been excited about the journals because I'm getting a lot of feedback about that. And then towards the end of the week, I'm going to move on to some other things. But I wanted to also let you know how I get creative with the journal pages. So it's usually something like the performance of Andrea Bocelli's songs that make me think about the spread, and the journal that we're working on now, it's kind of during this time that we're in. So I know that one day I'll look back on this journal page and I'll remember exactly what it was about. So I think about what images do I want to cut up? What images or words do I want to write? So one of the things I did, when you see the YouTube video, if you saw yesterday, you'll see it later, Andrea does a prayer words passages in the very beginning. So yesterday afternoon, I hit pause like so many times, and I wrote out on the back of something, I wrote out all the words that he said. And they were so beautiful. There's one line that blew me away, and I'm gonna put it in our journal. And I swear, you guys, it was like the most amazing thing. So I'm gonna tell it to you, and then I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do in my journal. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but there's this one line that's just so heartfelt. Thanks to music bringing together millions of clasped hands everywhere in the world, we will hug this wounded Earth's pulsing heart. This wonderful international forge is the reason for Italian pride. But just the hugging the wounded Earth's pulsed heart, oh my goodness, I was bawling. It was just so beautiful. So that's gonna be in the journal page. And I'm gonna show you a bunch of stuff that I cut out, and we're gonna get started. And so I'm hoping I've marked my page, because I realized in my video last week, my page is slightly crooked. So I'm gonna try and make it better today. So hold on, we're gonna flip you around and get you centered. I even measured it. I was being a little bit anal. Okay, that should be the right height. Got a little ruler. And I just want to make sure it's straight. All right, not bad, huh? At least I got them both in. Okay, so before I even get started on this, I don't know if my friend Terry's on the line. Terry is my friend from Belgium. She's an amazing artist, but she sent me a message about a quote that I want to do. I'm not going to do it in the cover. Let me just make sure I'm good here. I'm not going to do it on the cover because it was too big and I want it in the inside. So this weekend I worked on, okay, here we go. This weekend I worked a little bit more here, but I also lettered in this quote that she sent me. It's by Rupi Kaur, and she is a Canadian, she's an Indian-born Canadian poet. She's super young. She's in her 20s, gorgeous woman, and she does a lot of beautiful line illustrations and short poems. So you can Google her, find her. Her name is Rupi, R-U-P-I, Kaur, K-A-U-R. And so Terry sent me this. Nothing to worry about. The sun and her flowers are here. And I thought that was so perfect for this spread that I want to be doing these little doodle roses, and I've got my sun, even though it wasn't centered. What I did was I used a piece of the collage from the other side, and I had no idea that this was going to turn into my sun. But as soon as I saw the yellow ball, I'm like, well, that's perfect, and I'll just start putting my sun rays in here. And then this was just like little bits of light. And then what I'm going to do is find some real flowers, photographs of real flowers, and start to combine my doodle roses with the flowers. What was really interesting is these were all done first. We've been doing these last week, and then I found this flower, and it's very similar to this one. So that was fun. And so that's one of the letterings I was working on. I do the Copics, and then I did another line. My letters usually always have about 3 outlines. Makes it pop a little bit. And I'll show you a couple other pages. This one we already looked at last week. I haven't done much more on here. It might be done. I might, sit in front of the TV with it and do some more dots and hearts and things like that, but it's pretty much done. Just gonna make sure we're straight. And then I started working on this back 2 pages. I'm not sure exactly what this page is going to be, but I really like doing these sort of vines. And so this is just a vine that I make leaves, and then I highlight it again the outside with some of the Copic markers. So I do it in the black. I do it in these black pens or the Micron pens, and then color it in and then do another color on the outside. I also worked on the quotes some more. I ended up adding lots of little dots, and these are all done with the paint pen markers. So paint pens are great when you have a round tip, and if they're on the bigger side, then it's just these 1 dots, and then you can get a smaller one to do the tiny ones. But I felt like that was really bubbly, and I also then outlined another layer of blue to make it pop some more, and some pink here. And then I thought what I would do with these inside pages, which I'll show you along the way, is I think I'm gonna start putting the quotes that I share with you guys from here at the end of the lives. I'm going to pick some of our favorites, and I'm going to do the lettering of these quotes on here, because I feel like that's important too on these lives as we come together and talk about things, that I want to remember that too one day when I look back on here. So I think that's what I'm going to do with the inside of this little section. And then this one, I'm really liking. Look, I match a little bit. I'm really liking how this is turning out. So this was a page that I used acrylic inks to wipe down as my background, this beautiful magenta. And then I took my black pen and I did my little doodle roses. And if you guys didn't see that video, a few videos back, I show you guys how to do the little doodle roses. So I put them on here, and then what I did was I took a thin, like an extra small or small white Sharpie pen, and just started to highlight and outline some of these lines, which it doesn't matter if, oh, now I'm taking it off. I'll have to figure it out going back, but it doesn't really matter if you're on the line or not. Even those little bits of black really make some interest in these little flowers. So it's really just another, another line, another element of something of interest to look at. And then in some of the lines, I added the white pen here. And then some of this has some shadowing underneath with some dots. So all different sort of ways to use one color in a lighter color than the color you painted on. So let me get that sorted. Now I pulled it up. Okay, there we go. So what I want to do now is, let me see, I want to make sure I'm perfect. Okay, what I want to do now is do a spread for the concert from yesterday. And I won't do the whole thing, but I want to show you how I not cut stuff out. I've already cut it out, but I want to show you how I kind of get my page together. So what I want to do is, because I want to use one spread, I decided not to do it on these two colors because I feel like that's not a consistent, cohesive place, but I had these two pages in the back that were green. And I love the color green. It does remind me of hope, and it's like Easter, it's a rebirth, and it's spring, and it's green, and so I wanted that to be the background. And I do these backgrounds way before I have any idea what I'm putting on there, but it just worked out. So last night I started cutting up stuff, and I'll show you some things that I found. I did not find that. I did find, this is just to symbolize, when the video was on yesterday, they panned a lot in the city of Milan, which is so beautiful. I've had the privilege to be there before, and it's just, the architecture is gorgeous. So this may not be Milan, but it represents it. So I'm going to put that there. I had it like at the bottom border, and I just want to make sure that that's in. I think so. Yep. Okay. And then I found these other things. I found some music notes. I've got the word faith. I have some flowers I cut out. I have these things here that I'm going to put on the other page. So this piece, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is from one of Oprah's magazines. And isn't this so perfect? I'm sure you guys have seen the footage of people singing to their neighbors in these buildings in Italy and everywhere else in the world, where you'll open up your shutters and start singing. And look at her beautiful face. She's just taking it all in, and it's so gorgeous to listen to. So I was like, got tingles when I saw that. So I just grabbed a stack of magazines. I had no idea what I was going to find. So I'm going to put this one over here. And then during the video, there were parts of cities that they showed, and they showed New York. So I was hoping to find something with New York, and then I saw the Statue of Liberty, and isn't that just so perfect? So I have that. Found this little piece about London, and then I've got Italy. The only thing I didn't find is something on Paris, and I'm sure I can find something. And so I cut some of these bigger pieces out, and then these are more like little extras to have as in my design. And then I have a whole bunch of words. What I'll use, I'm not too sure, but I found, you know, gratitude, togetherness. We have so much gratitude in our hearts. I have an iconic city that's ever evolving. So I have these little words here. I'm going to put this pile here with friends from all over the world. You know, it's crazy when you start looking for collage pieces and you have an idea in your head and all of a sudden these things pop up and you're like, wow, that's just perfect for my page. And I have another one of these, but of course I can't find it, oh, here it is. Also to represent, you know, United States, that we're all together, whether you're red state or blue state, we're all together. So I have these pieces here. The only thing I couldn't find was actually a picture of Andrea Bocelli. And so my printer's not the best, but it will do for now. So I went onto Google and I searched in and grabbed my image. And the thing about when you grab images is they're never gonna be beautiful or crystal clear. So I didn't enlarge it. I just kept it to the size that was available. But it gets the point of what that is and what the concert was about. And so this is the main cathedral, and this is him with Music for Hope, which was the name of his video and his performance. So I have all these pieces. I'm going to start putting them down. I cut them all with our little scissors. I also have a pile of more scraps if I need it. And my Tombow, which I'm going to use. And then over the weekend, I did find my other thing that I like. I want to show you is the Tombow liquid glue. I really like this too if I'm going to glue something. And if you're ever in a pinch, which I've used over the weekend, waiting for these guys to come in, was just a traditional Elmer's glue stick. Works fine. Or Mod Podge works totally fine too. So I'm going to start to layer in some pieces, and I usually go with the bigger pieces first. And I know I liked this center down at the bottom, and one of the reasons is that there's this big straight edge right here. So I kind of don't want to put it up here, so I'm going to put it down here. So I'm just going to put in, using my Tombow, gluing down here. One thing too is for the words that I wrote, that he said that I wrote down, and I want to highlight, you know, this one section right here, I'm going to look for a picture of Earth, maybe clasped hands, but I want to write this one sentence, and I want to write it right here in the middle. So when I'm putting things down, I want to think about that, like where do I want my lettering to be? So I love how this is a little rough. So whatever I do, I'll stick something in there. The thing that I also really like about Tombow, you guys, is that it's not glued, right? So all the edges aren't necessarily shut. So for instance, I have the tape on the back of here, but I can then kind of like tuck it into something. So I can tuck it in, right? And it gives it a little bit of a neat dimension. If I had glued this down, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm gonna put that right about there. So now you've got that sort of feel. You can tuck in things behind flowers and whatnot. I really like it. So if I do that same idea where I wanna tuck something in, I'll probably put more of the tape on the left side. All right, so maybe I'll actually go up to the edge because there's all the corners there. And I'm not 100% sure where I want this, but I think I'm gonna put that here and probably wrap some flowers along the top. So I kind of already in my head know what I want. And when you're putting your collage pieces down, I always do this first. For 75% of my collages, I will lay them down before I glue them down. Just So I've got an idea of what I want. And again, it's just a journal page. It's not a big deal, but I kind of like to have things in a certain way. So a lot of what he was talking about yesterday, you didn't have to be to believe in Easter or all of all of the religious things that the Christians believe in, but he also talked about all religions. So I think that's really important, that it's all about faith, anybody's faith, right? And so I wanted to make sure that was in there. This was a line he said: I believe in the Christian Easter, a universal symbol of rebirth that everyone, whether they are believers or not, truly needs right now. So I love that part too, that he was acknowledging every other religion, or even if you didn't have one. So I thought that was really important. So I really liked finding this word, and I'm not sure where I want it. I think I'll put it here. Okay, and now I want to work with some of these pieces on this side, some of these bigger pieces. So this is sort of my center for this spread. And I fully intend, when I'm done, to add marker to it. So I'll probably do that on tomorrow's live. We'll add some markers to everything. So you can see how I do one layer of collage, whoopsie, and then how I add and embellish things. Because that's always the fun part of art journaling too, is doing that part. Okay, so I've got, she's there, and now I'm going to start to put some of the cities around. Whenever I have a super straight edge, I want to make sure that I either ground it, like I'm doing right here. Now this one I didn't, but I fully intend to have my lettering right here in the middle. Now that might be a little big, I'm not 100% sure. But it was in Italy, and it's one of my favorite countries to visit. It's so beautiful. Looks like that's Venice right there. Okay, I'm gonna put London right there. And I'll look for a little something about Paris, because they showed those 4 countries. Okay, I liked when I cut these out. I like the idea. Oh, you know what? I might do one down here and one up here. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I like the idea of the arches, because I do like to do arches. Let's see, I'll show you a couple. If I have them. I think I have on one of these spreads. Like, I like to do this sort of feel. It grounds the bottom, and it's just a little extra kind of fun thing. Was this down here? I think this was down here, the red one. So I'm going to tuck it and go over this guy a little bit. And the thing about the Tombow glue or tape gun or tape, whatever it's called, adhesive stick, is that you can kind of pick it up and put it back down again, which is nice. All right, so let's see, do I want it there? Maybe I'll put it right there. Okay. All right. Now I have some of these, but there are some of them that are really important, especially the togetherness piece. I don't really like that little strip. I'm going to cut this. It's got a little bit of the white letters on it. But, you know, when he was singing yesterday, it's about the whole world and the whole world having hope. There's no one country it's not about Italy. It's about togetherness. I'm going to put that down there. I love going through magazines and finding things. And sometimes you might not even have a journal page, but you might want to just start cutting things out that you think you might use one day and put them in a box. And you'll have them. So I loved gratitude. You know, anything to do with, let's see, I moved it. Okay, good. I think we're all right. Sorry for not. I love gratitude, and it's a big part of my life. I love giving gratitude and saying them in the morning, and I'm very grateful for so many things. But yesterday's performance was a huge thing for me. So I'm going to put my gratitude up here. And then what I'm going to do is, I have this piece too, which I kind of like, but I'm a little worried that I'm going to cut off his hands. So I have to figure out what I want to do with that. But it's sort of, I don't know, it's sort of pretty cool. So I'm going to put that on pause over here and think about that. And I have some of these flowers that I found that are so beautiful that I want to sort of put, that one's pretty there. Let me get rid of this little piece of black from there. Isn't this a beautiful poppy? So poppies are blooming where I am right now, and my husband actually ripped up another plant by accident, and one of them were these poppies that I ordered from Annie's Annuals, so I'm gonna have to get some more from them. Annie's Annuals is where I cut up all these magazines too. They have the most amazing plants. You can buy them and they'll deliver. You don't have to leave your home, and they're in California, but they deliver all over the US. All right. And you know, poppies are a symbol of so many things too. And I think it'll be perfect. Let's see. I don't like things straight across even. I might do a whole thing of flowers down here. I don't know where that one's going to go, and I have this one too, which is funny. On the yellow, it starts to look a little green, which I didn't love, so maybe maybe it goes there. So I've got all these little flowers I cut out, and a lot of these flowers I put on my collage cards, so I have plenty. Can't find anything right now. Oh, I kind of like it in there. Okay, I'm going to tuck it in there. That's kind of fun. All right, I'm going to tuck it in there and bring it over so it's under and over. So what I'll do next is, when we get together tomorrow, I might find a few more pieces of collage between now and then and add that. But then I want to show you guys how I embellish the page with paint pens and markers, and also how I'm going to pull a couple of this passage, a couple of the lines into here, and maybe up in here, we'll see. And if I wasn't, if I could also keep the same whole page and glue it down, but there were so many other pieces I want to do on here, and I didn't want to cover this up. But that's another thing too, is that you could write down something, and then you could use that actual piece of paper, even if it's a scrap, you can use that actual piece of paper right on your page. All right, so I'm gonna flip you guys around. Okay. Cool. I'm here. So, hey, Lynn, I see, and Sandra, how are you guys? I can't see any other comments because they go away, but I do answer them all. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask me in the comments and I'll get back to you. And as always, I have our, oh, you know what I just realized, you guys? Was this whole thing backwards? I think it might have been backwards because I just realized that This is backwards. So I truly apologize for that, which is such a bummer. But I didn't have too many words. So hopefully you guys could flip it around in your head. And I'm going to pull one of... No wonder my studio looks so different in the video. But that's why. All right. All right. I'm pulling a card. Let's see what I get today. Okay. Ready? My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. Wow, you guys. These are so incredible because they're not all... Okay, it's backwards. I'm so sorry. These are not all about trauma and healing. They're about so many different things. And so I seem to pull the ones for us that are hopefully helping you guys and making you feel better. So it is so true. And even though it's backwards, this is faith right here. So keep the faith, keep the hope. Watch some Andrea Bocelli on YouTube. It's amazing. Get your Kleenex. You'll need it. And I will see you guys here tomorrow, 1 o'clock PT time. Okay? You guys take care. Lots of love. Big hugs. Bye.